Anita Among has pulled out of the race for speakership. And the wings seem now to be clipped because she had run out of the test tube. I've told you, or we have told you here, Anita Among is a test tube creature of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who was attempting now to run away, to grow wings, to become bigger, larger than life, that should not fit in the test tube. Now the wings have been clipped. You can see now she's been trimmed to a size that can fit, can go back into the test tube. You will see those charges dropped, the charges of corruption. We can predict and we can speak with authority that this regime will not prosecute Anita Among. Now that she has conceded, she has capitulated, she's now on the floor, she's completely rolling herself over and over, saying, I will not run for speakership, I'm not running for presidency, I will comply with the orders of the investigating officer, I will do whatever you want. Literally giving up, saying, whatever you want, I'm ready, please. Actually, she's like pleading with this Term 7, don't kill me, don't finish me off.
PFF on these issues and want to put these matters in their proper perspective and context, because a lot has been said, a lot is happening, comments are thrown here and there, and of course the state is trying to drive a narrative which we want to debunk so that the country is well briefed on what is going on. And in that particular perspective, as we debunk the narrative being given by the state, this is our position as the People's Front for Freedom. Number one, who is Anita Among? We want to categorically state that Anet Among is a preacher of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Not Anita the person, but Anita Among the kleptomania is a preacher of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Is a test tube product of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. No doubt about it. However much they try to distance themselves, however much they try now to portray a picture that she's a person who is alien to the values of NRM, who is not in any way connected to the state, the first family, Anita's umbilical cord is still connected to Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, connected to the NRM, connected to the first family. And we want to emphatically state that she's a test tube product or preacher of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for a particular purpose. You all know the circumstances leading to her crossing over to NRM. We don't need to state that she was poached from the opposition, from the FDC, under the cover of the night, the darkness. That's how she was procured by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and taken to NRM. So, having been poached from the FDC, from the opposition, under the cover of the night, Anita Among's behavior cannot be in any way a surprise to the regime, like they are claiming as if it happened overnight. That all of a sudden they are now shocked that Anita Among has been able to amass that kind of wealth she's having. They are moving from one house to another, from Nakasero to Chigo to Mutungo. Now the raid is continuing to Buyende. We don't know where it will end, as if they are on a discovery journey. That is full of the highest order. And Mr. Museveni and his team should not take Ugandans for a ride. They should not deceive or hoodwink Ugandans that they are just discovering the other side of Anita Among. No way. They have always been aware of the same. She was poached from the opposition, and when she was taken to Parliament, the assignment was to act as a procurement agent, a procurement officer rather. Mr. Museveni deployed Anita Among in Parliament as a procurement officer to get political turncoats from the opposition. That has been her assignment. And a lot of cash, a lot of money has been placed at her disposal to execute that role, to procure turncoats from the opposition, win them over to NRM. That has been her role. Indeed, to Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, she has excelled. And she's proud of it. In all the meetings they have had at Chankwanzi, everywhere, public meetings, she's been so much proud of that, having executed that role excellently. That's what she has been saying, putting on record. And in the presence of Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, with his consent and approval, that actually she has executed that duty excellently. And Museveni has applauded her on several occasions. To the extent that now, she turned the parliament, the corridors of parliament, the canteen of parliament, even our office, as a stock exchange market for political turncoats. Whoever has been to the office of Anet Among, money has changed the hands. Stories are told on how cash has been flowing. She's been a fountain of cash. She's been just like a spring well. Nothing. Whoever visited Anita Among in the office, whoever would go to her home, whoever would go everywhere, it's money. Money all over. So Mr. Museveni wants to deceive Uganda that he is not aware where Anita has been getting all that money from. So that is Anita Among for you. Wanted to summarize her character, her personality, and also the role she has been executing, playing in this is product of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for that specific role of procuring opposition political turncoats to NRM. That is number one. And her conduct, first of all, this is now the second issue. Whatever raid is going on right now is, and the shenanigans associated with the raids, the shenanigans are an indictment on Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. An indictment. Why? All this has been happening. Mr. Museveni facilitating Anita with lots of sums of money. Now he's claiming that Anita Among has gone overboard in executing the role he assigned her. It's an indictment on Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Who facilitated her with all that money? Who gave her all the state protection to behave the way she has behaved? Mr. Museveni, who gave her all the authority and mandate to behave the same way, the way she has behaved? It is Mr. Museveni. So whatever has been happening is an indictment on Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and whoever is associated with that behavior. What brought Anita Among problem? Being a kleptomaniac she is, she demonstrated village excitement with all the wealth that she had amassed. She's not been that smart like the many NRM actors inside. Quote and unquote smart. They have been able, for many of them have been able to hide their wealth. They are stinkingly rich. All those people you see in NRM, stinkingly rich. I don't want to mention names here. You see the assets here in Kampala, what they own here. You think all these fronts here are acting on their own? The Mystery Goonies, the Bosco Mongers, the Masaka, the all of them here, the so-called state tycoons. Those are agents of the top echelon of NRM. But for them, they have acted smart. One woman from Bokedia came with her village excitement after amassing all this wealth. she started showing off. And the latest in her stock being the Rolls Royce. I don't even know how to mention it. That's how complicated the vehicle is. Rolls Royce. And I even bite my tongue. So Anita the spendthrift, Anita the kleptomaniac, Anita the extravagant person was so showy, to the extent that she had to expose each and every aspect of her wealth, which she has accumulated within this period of 5 years as a Speaker of Parliament. And this inevitably had to land her into problems. This is coupled with the fact that she had started building her own empire. Her own empire anchored on money, cash. And this we shall explain later. Couldn't go well, couldn't augur well with the powers that be. And we shall explain that later in the scheme of things as they unfold right now. The third issue is, of course, the raid against Anet Among's home. Not home, actually, it's in several places. This raid which is going on, right, the ongoing raid in several Anita residences. And of course, all these shenanigans. They are not intended in any way to fight corruption, as the regime would want us to believe. No. And I want to tell you this. Now that Anita Among has pulled out of the race for speakership, and the wings seem now to be clipped because she had run out of the testitude. I've told you, or we have told you here, Anita Among is a testitute preacher of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who was attempting now to run out, to grow wings, to become bigger, larger than life, that should not fit in the testitude. Now the wings have been clipped. You can see now she's been trimmed to a size that can fit, can go back into the testitude. You will see those charges blocked. The charges of corruption. You can predict and you can speak with authority that this regime will not prosecute Anita Among. Now that she has conceded, she has capitulated, she's now on the floor, she's completely rolling herself over and over, saying, I will not run for speakership, I'm not running for presidency, I will comply with the orders of the investigating officer, I will do whatever you want. Literally giving up, saying, whatever you want, I'm ready, please. Actually, she's like pleading with this concept, don't kill me, don't finish me off. So now, the next thing in 7 will say, Mati. And you've seen what has been happening. Just recently, when they were in Chankwanzi, he said, Sister Namuju, come. Tell these people how now you turn into a saint. You're a thief, but now you repented, you're a saint. And how I forgive you. I forgive you. He go there to give your testimony. Can you imagine? When he does not have those powers, he does not enjoy that prerogative of mercy at that stage before one is convicted. It can only be invoked. The prerogative of mercy can only be invoked when one has been prosecuted and convicted of any crime. Or the KMS is purported to invoke amnesty of sorts. Amnesty has also got procedures. And it doesn't apply to cases of corruption. It's only other political offenses. Like a treason, terrorism, and what that's when you can exercise amnesty. So you ask Mr. Museveni, which law did you invoke to forgive Mawanda, to forgive Sise Namuju? It's the same practice which is going to happen, to be invoked. And the same trend will continue. You say now that you are a good God, I am forgiven you. That's what is going to happen. Because the fight has been to clip the wings of Anita Among, who was purporting to run out of the destitute and let her from within NRM. So the wings have been clipped, and that's what it's all about. Otherwise, if it were a fight against corruption, we are on record demanding that whoever was involved in the Mawat scandal should be brought to court. Starting with the Prime Ministers, with the Kashaija, Anita herself, and many of these people, including Jacob Oboth and others. All of them ought to have been prosecuted. The Mawat scandal. And if the this case of Agnes Nalutu was a test case, you know there is what we call a test case. If it was a test case, then it would serve as a good precedent for the rest of the culprits to also be brought to book. So now, you can imagine the Mawat criminals, culprits, are at large. And they are all over in the cabinet. They have not been brought to court. Actually, the first charge, Anita ought to have been prosecuted way back when the Mawat saga came out. And she ought to have relinquished the position of the speakership. So, that is the mission. It's not about fighting corruption, but it's all about clipping the wings of Anita Among and demolishing the empire which was in its infancy, which she was coming up with. The other issue is about Museveni seizing the opportunity offered to him by Anita Among to overrun Parliament. This is the unfortunate event. Under our laws, under the current constitutional order, the apex of accountability systems is Parliament. All these systems of accountability, oversight, audit, starting from local government, different internal processes within government agencies, MDAs, end up in Parliament, including the report of the Auditor General. Parliament is at the apex of the audit system. And that's why you have audit processes going on. That's why you have oversight committees. And it's the reason you have always been, the media has been covering these committee meetings. Different MPAs, different government officials being summoned to Parliament to answer issues of accountability, those audit queries. To further expound on this matter, to put this matter into context so that you appreciate it, the setup of our constitutional order is that where there is a clash between Parliament and the executive, the decision of Parliament prevails. And it's the reason Parliament has been vested with the mandate to censor a given sitting president. Not the other way around. The executive arm of government has got no powers whatsoever to dissolve Parliament and also chase away. The executive cannot chase the member of Parliament from their seat. Even just an ordinary member of Parliament. But MPs collectively can sit as the August House and censor a sitting president. That's how powerful Parliament is. Because they enjoy those oversight powers over the executive. Now Museveni has seized this opportunity offered to him by this test tube product which he was running off of the Anita Among to overrun Parliament. As we speak today, Anita Among has brought down Parliament completely. The moral high road Parliament has been driving. This is when those MPs are sitting there, breathing these MPs, what not, all that is now gone. Their image, of course, it had been in one way or the other compromised, and they were suffering a credibility crisis. But even that little credibility Parliament had reserved was left with in these Anita Among shenanigans, almost finished, gone. Almost gone. The 7 is riding now high. He's a high priest now, riding a high moral tower that is above the judiciary, is above Parliament. That Parliament is corrupt. The judiciary is corrupt. It is him who is calling all these agencies, state organs to order. That's an absurd situation created by Anita Among's behavior, conduct, which has offered Mr. Museveni that kind of opportunity now. Surprisingly, the public is accepting it and saying, because we are making history as a country, and researchers should do a research on this. Where has it happened that a sitting speaker arrested over charges of corruption, put under house arrest, and so on and so forth? So that's the role Anita Among has played for your Republican Museveni, to bring down the state structure. So with the statecraft in this country is completely gone. Completely gone. The state structure has been irredeemably battered, and if not, completely destroyed. Now, this talk of both as the new candidate is also rooted in fraud. You see, if you were fighting Anita Among's buffoonery, I'm sorry to use that. You are fighting Anita Among's buffoonery. Now, why come with the dirty hands? You go to a party and you get a spokesperson of PLU unveiling a candidate. Said, I've got a directive from my chairman, I've got a directive from the head of state, above, you are the next speaker. Just like that, and it's done. And all these regime apologists who were there have started applauding. Why should this country be treated like this? The very people who were praising Anita Among, almost 100% of those MPs in attendance, save for a handful, were in support of Anita Among. All of a sudden, the directive comes from one commander, they switch to another candidate. And it's more or less like a fait accompli now. It's more or less like a fait accompli. As if they are not known procedures under the law. That one has to pick a nomination form, one has to go through particular processes within the party, one has to undergo. You know, there are lots of processes you have to undergo, to go through. There are rigors you have to go through. Not a casual declaration like you witnessed over the weekend, where Kabanda came and said, you can imagine the powers, the authority he used to command all of them. All of them, many of them who are senior to him, said, remain standing. We should all, I'm telling you, we should all be worried about the future of this country, the state of affairs in this country. Should all be concerned. It's just a mere directive coming that or both. So this is not a choice of a new speaker. No. It's a replacement. Now Mr. Museveni is shedding off the old scheme and coming up with a new brand with a less tainted image. Because Anita Among had been exposed internationally, locally, and the utility values had gone to almost zero. Because of that high marginal propensity to steal, the utility value had gone to almost zero. Mr. Museveni had now to go with her to rebrand himself. He's just rebranding himself. Museveni is rebranding himself by throwing off the board Anita Among and getting a new procurement officer. Don't be mistaken. The conduct will just vary in magnitude, but it's going to remain the same. The conduct may vary in magnitude. Because of both is a little sophisticated compared to Anita Among. Anita Among, who was overwhelmed by village excitement. She was overwhelmed by village excitement. But of both, a little complicated, a little sophisticated. And even his actually it's really hard to expose them in a very the way he did it in a dramatic manner so that you don't use it against him. He was quick to guard against himself. So the match has his Christian, he has two wives. He guarded himself. That you will see is only weakening. But the rest, they are all the same. Material. He was at the forefront of the movement. He is the one who tabled the UPDF bill, the UPDF amendment bill before Parliament in total violation or negation of the Supreme Court decision. And he's a lawyer. He knew what he was doing. He is on the list of the Mabati scandal. So how different is he from Anita Among, save for that conduct, for extravagant conduct? Because Anita Among was over the moon with her extravagance. Even when she was walking, you see somebody with cloud behind her. She's just coming back to Earth. Anita has not been one of us. She has been on a different planet. I'm telling you. Just reality is dawning on her now that she's on Earth. But she thought she was on a different planet. That's the only difference. The distinction you can draw between the two. Anita Among and the both of both. But they are both cut out of the same cloth. And their mission is the same. Not different at all. Not different. There is no difference at all. Their mission is all the same. So, now, we want to ask the following. Number one. right-thinking members of society, right-thinking citizens should rise to the occasion and deal with these shenanigans in the context we are presented before you. Not to get excited that Mr. Museveni for once now is cracking the whip. We shouldn't get excited. Of course, no one can cry. We are asking you not to offer a shoulder to Anita Among to lean on. No. No sane Ugandans should offer a shoulder for Anita Among to lean on. Let her carry her own cross. Let her pay for her own crimes. But we should remain focused on the fight before us. What is the fight before us? The succession agenda, which is ongoing. They are using this unfortunate situation now to prepare Mr. Muhoozi to take over for you. No. They are using these unfortunate events to prepare Mr. Muhoozi to take over from, causing this kind of disaster we are witnessing in the country. They are using it as fodder, as construction material to prepare an empire for Muhoozi. As a country, we need a transition from family rule. We need a transition from military rule. We need to get out of the captivity where we are kept now. To have a free Uganda where we can all exercise our liberties, where we can all pursue our respective aspirations and pursue our collective destiny as a nation. But right now, they are playing all these games for political expedience to prepare Muhoozi's empire. Because Anita Among, the kleptomaniac who had amassed a lot of wealth, had posed a threat to the Muhoozi project, definitely. With all that wealth, they were not so sure that she wouldn't turn into a problem to Muhoozi. However much she tried to play psychopaths, those people are sophisticated. The Museveni is a sophisticated. You can be a psychopath. You tell them that, look, I believe in the Holy Trinity, Museveni the Father, Janet the Mother, and the Son. They can read it through and tell what is in your heart and what you are scheming. They have that capacity. At least they are not that naive. So she played the psychophancy to pursue her own agenda, and now they are using it against not only Anita Among, but against the nation to prepare the Muhoozi dynasty, rather the Muhoozi empire, which we have got to deal with as a nation. It's incumbent upon all of us. As Anita is falling by the wayside, we should make sure that she does not go to the parliament. That is an obligation. And this is a duty the MPs have got now, to make sure that as she's sinking, definitely she's already on the ground. And I highly doubt that she can rise again. She's trying to patch up, she's now trying to make a comeback by again playing the ball and appearing to be meek, to appearing to be submissive. Wapi, irredeemable gone. Anita Among is irredeemable gone. But let her not go with the last rags in parliament. We should fight. And our frontline troops at Parliament, your work is cut out. How do we redeem the image of Parliament? How do we make sure that Parliament is not an appendage of the State House of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, because now it's being turned into a smaller desk in the State House. The clerk come and record the statement. You, the staff, whoever. Now the corridors of Parliament are now annexed to the State House. I'm sure what is happening, if they can raid Anita Among home, who is now taking charge of the office? Who is this deputy? Taiwa. Can Taiwa now step at Parliament? What way is he now? So who is in charge? Who is in charge at Parliament? All the MPs are wobbling now. You know what they call wobbling? They are all speaking in tongues. They are all what? It's terrible. So we are in trouble as a country. How do we redeem the institution of Parliament so that it does not go down with Anet Anita? Because now it's being conveyed to State House. And finally, we invite our members of Parliament to say no to both of both. Hey, want to repeat this. For us, we have only 2 MPs there. But we are inviting all opposition MPs, including those in NRM who wish well for this country, say no to both or both. He is another test tube product, like Anet Among. With the assignments now to play to finish off whatever is left by Anet Among. In comparative terms, Kadaga would do one or the other resist 1 2 things. Much as she also succumbed to the pressure and passed the age limit, whatever, was quite a popular. But one or the other, she would stand up to the authority and say, Kafuma, this order is stupid, I will not implement it. Will not evict the rebel MPs. Kadaga will be remembered before that, having defended the rebel MPs. But Anita has been defending the corrupt. She went to see Namju's function and said, she's you praise her that she has stolen, but I was managed to share with the loot. So, or both is coming as a project of the first family. And it's the reason the first family had to sit and take a decision that the replacement of Anita Among has to be a both of both. And the rest will just have to prepare. So we invite all right-thinking members of our country, particularly the MPs, to do whatever it takes in the name of defending our Constitution and the values that we cherish and hold dear. We say no to both or both. If we ever succeed in that, that would be a good victory for this country. We succeed in blocking the election of or both. I know it looks like a tall order. I'm sure everyone else thinks you're just wasting your time. But that is the right thing to do. To tell the family that has voted, the ruling family that has voted, or both, that this country does not belong to you. It belongs to the 46 million Ugandans. And power resides in the people. It should be the people to determine who should be the next speaker, not the first family. Now, if the first family is choosing or both, the rest of Uganda should say no for both. For us, that is our position as BFA. We beg to submit. We thank you.